A very good evening to you all. Thank you for joining us for the 10 o'clock edition of the UBC News Tonight. With me, Wadulo Mark Arnold. Mugalu Muhammad will be joining us shortly on sign language. Without further ado, let's take a look at tonight's top stories and then get started. And in our top stories tonight, President Museveni advises Ngora to embrace government programs. Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo agree to waive visa entry fees. Fear and tension grips Pakwach residents over invasive wildlife. And Peace Kabasweka shines at Johnny Walker Open Golf Championship. Now, sports news. Once again, thank you for joining us, and this is the bulletin in detail. To start off, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has advised the public to look out for strange people and report them to the nearest police station. He also cautions families to be mindful about relatives that have not been around for a long time and suddenly return. President Museveni's advice was shared via his Twitter handle this morning, where he was informing Ugandans about UPDF's bombing of ADF hideouts in 4 different points within the Democratic Republic of Congo. He explained that these points were at 72 kilometers, 120 kilometers, 69 kilometers, and 130 kilometers from the border with Bundibudio Semuliki side, where he says a number of terrorists could have been killed. The president says the ADF fighters are running away from Congo, which they thought was a heaven, and are entering into Uganda trying to commit some random terrorist acts. He explained that the truck carrying onions to the market that was burnt 12 kilometers from the border could have been a result of such elements.
Were killed. Again, suspected ADF terrorists on Thursday night raided Kasese, shooting one person dead and setting a trailer ablaze.
And in more news, the son of the former Vice President Edward Sekandi has been buried at Chanamukaka, Masaka district. Alex Kayanja Sekandi died Thursday at Lubaga Hospital, where he was admitted for 2 weeks, and he was the only son of the former Vice President. Let's have a look at the details.
Alex yagizise bakadde be kakati ate bagenda tuna mutana y'omwana so vikayongera essaala mukama abagumye okuviibwako omwana Alex welaba Alex welaba.
I received with sadness the news announcing the sudden death of your beloved son, Alex Kayanja Sekandi. I wish to extend, on behalf of my family, the government, the NRM party, and the entire nation, heartfelt condolences and sympathies to His Excellency Edward Kiwanuka Sekandi and the entire family upon the loss of a dear son. My family and I stand with you in prayer during this trying moment. May the Almighty God grant you the fortitude and courage to go through this moment of grief and loss. I pray that you find solace and comfort in the Christian affirmation which says that death is not an end.
May his soul rest in eternal peace. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has asked the people of Ngora district to embrace government programs aimed at reducing poverty levels within the country. This was contained in the president's message delivered by the Prime Minister, Robina Nabanja, at the traditional ceremony where Jacqueline Amongin, and a member of the East African Legislative Assembly, was introducing Council Achilles Lubega in Agu Village, Ngora district.
President Yoweri Museveni has said that the NRM government ushered in peace and security in the country and implored the people to use this conducive environment to create wealth for themselves.
All the opportunities, the conducive environment that is ushered in by NRM government, please support all the government programs, PPM, Yoga, and many others. And we want you to benefit, especially the 79% of our population who are not yet in the money economy.
The Prime Minister thanked the people of Ngora for supporting the NRM government and assured them that they will deliver all the promises.
And you know NRM is a government that delivers. Yes, the people of Uganda.
Nabanja described Amongin as a hard-working woman who is focused to serve the country. The Minister of State for Education, Peter Ogwang, in charge of sports, asked Council Lubega to ensure they live in harmony with Amongin, as demanded by the Teso culture.
We want to ask you to keep our daughter away. Councillor Achilles, we love you. Toto, thank you for helping and bringing up Jacqueline.
The President contributed 20 million shillings as startup for the family, while the Prime Minister Robina Nabanja and Ogwang contributed 5 million shillings each. The function was graced by State Minister in charge of economic monitoring in the Office of the President, Beatrice Akelo, RDCs, dozens of members of Parliament and area leaders and residents.
Now, in more UBC news tonight, Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo governments have agreed to waive visa entry fees on a reciprocal basis. The move is aimed at easing movement of people and goods as the two countries strengthen bilateral relations. This position was reached during the 8th ordinary session of the Joint Permanent Commission between Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo, as Henry Okrut reports.
It is a mission that saw 10 Ugandan ministers accompany the first Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East African Community Affairs, Rebecca Kadaga, to Kinshasa. They were here to find avenues of strengthening bilateral relations between the two countries. One of the issues that came up for discussion was the removal of visa entry fees.
Because if you look at across the whole border, right from Arua down up to Kisoro, this is for just the same people across the border. So why should we really require, one person who is going to see relative the other day and also who is going to further economic interest required to have a visa. We really have agreed that we're going to waive that.
This is not all. The two governments also discussed cooperation in public administration, the fight against corruption, justice, as well as youth and trade affairs. On justice, for example, Uganda's line minister, Norbert Mao, was present to advance the country's expectations.
We have got an interest as the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs to ensure that Ugandans who are rotting in Congolese jails on flimsy charges are set free.
This expectation, whereas still a subject of international law, Mao is optimistic it will work out.
Recently, I just signed an instrument extending the application of the law regarding exchange of prisoners to apply to Turkey. So Ugandans who are in Turkey will now come and serve their sentences in Uganda. We can do the same for DR Congo.
Similar anticipation and hope is shared by other ministers who were part of the delegation. From health, energy and youth affairs, among others, addressing associated challenges remains a concern of the two countries.
What East Africa has decided to do is to develop the philosophy of their power pool for the East African community. That is, where there is excess power supply, can also be given to the next.
How do we manage cross-border diseases? How are we going to manage and control cross-border diseases? How are we going to strengthen our lab at the border, whereby both countries must engage each other to ensure that we control the diseases?
These are our brothers and sisters, and there are some things that we have in common. How can we work together so that we can preserve our cultures and, of course, maintain them such that they are not eroded?
It will take economic and social infrastructure development for trade between the two nations to flourish. This is why ministries, including works and transport, as well as agriculture and fisheries, were represented.
We have an investor who is trying to develop transport from the Karubat this side of Congo. But on our side of Uganda, we have cleared him to put the landing site, but he was not yet cleared the other side of Congo to put the landing site. So immediately yesterday we met, the minister agreed, and they are going to allow the investors to develop the landing site, the other side of transport on water from Uganda to Congo. It is very good.
Congo takes a lot of fish from Uganda, and there is need for us as two governments to work together to see how best we can be able to trade in fish, but also in crops, livestock. We have a lot to give to DRC, and DRC has a lot to do to give Uganda.
Meetings convened, discussions held, decisions taken, and agreements signed. Has been a process enough to lead to the adoption of a joint communique. This clearly indicates that the 4-day engagement in Kinshasa has not been a waste, but an achievement worth boasting of. Henry Okrut, UBC, Kinshasa.
And furthermore, residents of the town council near Murchison Falls National Park in Pakwach district are living in fear after 10 of their people were attacked by marauding wildlife in their period of just 1 year. Cosmas Ongere, a resident in Akera village in Pakwach sub-county, says they have made several attempts to ask relevant authorities to compensate the bereaved families, but all this has been in vain. Details with Okol Joseph.
Communities living near Murchison Falls National Park in the Pakwach district are living in fear after losing 10 people to strayed wildlife.
In our sub-county alone, we have about 10 people. We have just buried 6 this year. 6.
This is after making several attempts to ask for compensation of the lost lives, but in vain.
You always tell us to make the statement, do all the what are needed, but still you don't bring us back the feedback. All these people have been buried by ourselves, and yet it is you, very reluctant across there, to make sure you come and collect all your wildlife to at least stay in the park. But still they are here killing us.
This has seemingly worsened the relationship between the affected people and Uganda Wildlife Authority.
You told us some time back that you'll be compensating some of those bereaved family, which is not happening. Not even barrier arrangement you people are doing. And you expect us to have a very good relationship. Those people value the animals more than human life.
A gap that Uganda Conservation Foundation is trying to bridge through its affirmative action project of Pan-African conservation education.
So we are aware about those deaths, human-wildlife conflict in several occasions happens, but we are now trying to scale and try to create awareness among the people such that such incidences reduce in the future.
With all the good plans they had for the affected communities since 2019, unfortunately, the project is soon ending.
Now we have come to an end of this program. We are simply trying to ask the communities and all our stakeholders. It's more of an evaluation of our project. So we call it a sustainability survey. We are trying to ask our beneficiaries, was the project sustainable? Did we really meet our expected outputs? What more can we do to better our services?
The culmination of this project in the nearby future may turn into the distressed factor, especially to those who have not yet benefited from it.
For us, we wanted some project to be continued because as a youth, we are suffering, but there is no job.
The lack of job, we are just pushing here in the water, fishing, still in the water. Park is arresting us.
The only things we need from park, they must give us skill, like tailoring, like construction of roads.
Joseph Oko, UBC.
Chambogo University Busoga Nsete Students Association have held a handover ceremony officiated by the Minister for Kampala and Metropolitan Affairs, Hajat Misa Kabanda. Kabanda, who represented the third Deputy Prime Minister, Right Nakadama Rukia Isanga, offered guidance to the new leadership regarding the preservation of Busoga's values and norms. Details in this report.
Minister for Kampala Affairs, Hajat Misa Kabanda, has emphasized the key elements necessary for building a robust association.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may all be aware that in such students' associations, positive outputs may be realized as inter alia. Networking for career enhancement and connectivity for future employment opportunities. Number 2, motivating and serving as good example to the young generation and inculcating the love for education.
She also stressed the importance of the new leadership embracing and upholding the values and norms of Busoga to foster unity within the association.
All know the qualities of a good leader. Always follow the values of norms of our Busoga, such as patriotism, volunteering for community service, and community engagement for development, supporting the social, economic, and political development of Busoga and Uganda.
This was at Chambogo University Busoga Nsete Students Association handover ceremony officiated by the Minister for Kampala and Metropolitan Affairs, Hajat Misa Kabanda, on behalf of the third Deputy Prime Minister, Rokia Nakadama Isanga. A Member of Parliament from Busoga encouraged students to actively engage in such associations, underscoring their role in shaping the individuals by providing knowledge, mentorship, fostering confidence, and creating opportunities.
Are the pillars and the foundation of Busoga. We are here to support them in the cause of appreciating, one, the value of their heritage, where they come from. It is known that if you don't know where you're coming from, then you can't know where you're going.
The outgoing leadership commended the association for the opportunities and mentorship it provided during the tenure.
As the old cabinet, we are really happy that the day has really come and the expected people have all come.
All about unity. We always move like the whole of Central. We always go and visit those universities and we get friends. That's the social capital. Like I myself, it was hard for me to get internship placement. But a friend of mine helped me and I worked at the Ministry of Health because of Busoga and Sete.
The newly appointed leadership made a commitment to uphold principles and of good governance, promote unity and work towards generating more opportunities for its members.
We look forward to gathering more of our friends. We look forward to have very big numbers of Busoga and Sete together. You know, together we can.
Benon Mukwaya and Jamil Sekaja for UBC.
The Rotary Club of Nalia Estates has pitched camp in Kasokoso slum area where they are offering free medical services to the community. Now in this area, residents rely on clinics for treatment and emergencies, which according to local government is still a challenge.
This free medical camp offered dental, HIV/AIDS treatment, eye screening services, among others, in Kasokoso Chira municipality. The mayor, Chira municipality, Julius Mutebi, says the area hosts more than 100,000 people but lacks health facilities.
These people have either to go to Butabika or have to travel to go all the way to Chira, which is a very huge challenge. And given the population and the fact that it is a slum area, you can imagine the rate at which people have children or babies. If you look around this place, it is full of children. So the challenges are really high. Malaria is quite rampant in this area and lots of other diseases.
Such interventions of free medication from partners, especially Rotary, according to the mayor, do strengthen individual health.
And that's why we appeal to the Ministry of Health and the government of Uganda to help us to establish, to transform this little makeshift health center improvised by the community and some of the leaders, myself and others, into a proper maybe health center too.
This aims at bringing services closer to the community through treatment and prevention of disease, especially among the vulnerable.
During our services, we look at such, and so the objective was really to bring medical services closer to the people, but also because they are free of charge, we know that they cannot easily afford the private health centers that are around the area. And you can see we have quite a number of people that have come in hundreds to receive these services. That's already an indication that people have been yearning for these services, and we have brought them closer to the people.
Above self is what we desire in society, especially among us leaders. But when we have people who do not have direct positions of leadership showing service above self, it's a very, very good thing. As
residents appreciated this free medical camp.
Akasente mbadde sina kantwala mu ddwaliro banzijanjabidde bwerere tebalina wadde 10 kye banzigyeko, so nina okweyanza okw'amaanyi eri Rotary Club.
Twalisabye nti akazaale singa kino ekintu bakikola buli mwezi no basalawo bajje batujjanjabeko ng'abatuuze b'e Kasokoso.
So banne enkuba omulanga eri abatuuze bannange twalibadde tukuuma obuyonjo.
The camp targeted to serve close to 200 individuals, and according to Rotary Club of Nalia Estates, more camps are to be organized. Lydia Chomkama, Andrew Sebida, UBC News.
Now, remains of over 40 people in Nakasaja Champisi in Mukono district were recently exhumed by an unknown people, a vice that left the village in shock. Now, despite this, the law permits whoever wants to exhume the remains of the dead to do so. Deborah Namamonde with the report.
Customs and traditional beliefs previously detested exhuming of the remains of the dead, but as time changed, the rights of the dead have been violated. Routine land disputes, love for quick money from the sale of property, have struck a compromise to violate the rights of the dead by illegally evicting their remains.
Other people exhume for medical reasons, or investigations. Maybe they want to pick a sample of the DNA. So that one, it's usually a police letter. Police or the magistrate supervises, and that case is called a coroner.
Despite champions of exhuming remains of the dead illegally, the law stipulates procedure one has to go through during and after exhuming the remains of the dead.
So you're required to apply to court. Then court can hear the reasons given and court grants the order. Many times there are no disputes and court just gives the order ex parte. The whole reason why you're required to go to court to avoid disputes that may arise in exhuming a person.
Sometimes the law requires one to notify the local leaders where the exhuming is taking place and where the remains are to be relocated.
Serves that order onto the area police, the area local council officials, and usually the RDC, just for the sake of maintaining peace and harmony. Many people don't get orders and they do it in the middle of the night, but that is illegal.
Some people exhume the remains of the deceased, basing their views on customs and traditions.
That maybe in this tribe or in this clan, we bury like this. However, religion and cultural practice take second place to the law. There is no minimum or maximum time that a person can be transferred. The only difference is if a person left a will and clearly stipulated that I'm to be buried here, then that will cannot be changed.
Recently, over 40 remains of the dead were illegally exhumed in Nakasaja Champisi Mukono district, leaving many in shock.
Usually, if it happens in such a manner that chances are that there was no court order, or if it was there, possibly all parties were not aware. It would even have been prudent for court to visit the ground, to visit the locus, to ascertain, because a person might misrepresent that I'm moving 3 bodies when it's a burial ground of more than 4 families. In fact, if there are any disputes, the other parties who don't want the exhumation to take place can object in court.
Police arrested one Juliet Zansanze.
You can be charged under the penal code and you can be sentenced to up to 3 years imprisonment. There is also an offence under the Succession Act of intermeddling with the estate of a deceased person.
With the increasing cases of exhuming of the bodies and relocation of the remains of the deceased, there is need to ascertain the rights of the deceased.
Deceased people don't have any rights, especially after death. The only rights that arise to a deceased person are where the deceased left a will. It should be in writing, it should be witnessed, it should be dated, and it should be signed by the person who is making it. So the biggest rights that accrue to a deceased person, when a person has expressed what they want to do in death, their will is supposed to be fulfilled.
The law exhumation emphasizes that one must have a license and the activity must be done within a year with the watch of the environmental health officer who ensures procedures are complied with when exhuming the remains of the deceased. Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
Quite horrific right there. Now, Major Vincent Aljun brought smiles to the faces of the residents in the Busoga and Chirudu ghettos by providing them with a cow and a ton of flour to support their households. As the Deputy Anti-Drug Official Uganda in the Corners International Chaplain, Major Vincent Aljun acknowledged the pressing needs of the Chirudu community, particularly its youth. He encouraged them not to lose hope and emphasized their importance in society.
The King Roberto African Unity Foundation extended its support to the Chirudu and Busoga ghettos by supplying them with freshly slaughtered cattle and donating over a ton of flour to help them meet their food requirements.
We want to thank King Roberto of King Roberto Foundation here in Busoga for what he has done. This is the real people we need to serve. So we are very thankful for that.
Major Vincent Aljun recognized the dire circumstances faced by those in the ghettos and to organize additional initiatives to assist them.
We have met several groups of people where he gave out food, bushel, and bought a cow for the community. We are on a campaign to fulfill the Sustainable Development Goals under United Nations, and we are here to intervene in drug trafficking and drug addiction, where CONASE has a very bright vision for such people.
He urged ghetto residents not to lose faith and to continue supporting the government and President Yoweri Museveni for country's development.
We are able to come in and to see how we can be able to help the ghetto, especially the ghetto youth, who will be able to raise up and use their talents, use their skills, and we can rehabilitate them to ensure that they can do and be much more important in the society.
King Roberto from Cameroon, who also serves as the head of Anti-Drug Uganda, cautioned the people of Kirudu and Busoga against drug abuse and disrespecting the parents.
I want you children, so you want to be great tomorrow, you have to listen to your parents, you have to respect the authority of your nation, the authority of your area, because any authority comes from God. I want you to not be deceived by taking drug, because drug destroy life, drug destroy family.
He also offered words of encouragement to widows, urging them not to despair.
I want the father in this area, the widows in this area to know you are not just widow, your husband is God. I want you to know God can never abandon you. I want you to know you are widows. Put on your mind that you have new son today. You are children but not father and mother. I want you to know that you have new father today.
The King Roberto African Unity Foundation has made a significant impact on the needy residents of Kirudu and Busoga ghettos by supplying them with flour and 200 kilograms of meat.
In Nakaseke district, religious leaders have issued a call to candidates preparing for their Uganda Certificate of Education exams to put into practice the knowledge they have acquired. This appeal came during a dedication ceremony held at Nakaseke International College, attended by students, parents and teachers of the school.
Religious leaders, teachers and parents collectively have been seeking divine guidance for the candidates, infusing them with spiritual strength. Sheikh Muhammadi Lubowa from Masjid Noor, Nakaseke Town, and Reverend Tom Mokalazi from St. Paul's Church of Uganda, Nakaseke Town, were instrumental in this spiritual support.
If someone is caught in any kind of wrongdoing, those of you who are spiritual should set him right.
The same scripture that we shall apply our own road makes a fool of God. People will reap exactly what they sow. So we are praying for you. We shall pray for you. We will always pray for you. As you also not sharing us, you do what you are supposed to do. In the name of the God, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Kulaga biki bye tuteekeddwa okukola nga waliwo ekyetaagisa ekikwatagana n'ebibuuzo ffenna tukkiriza omuntu wa Allah kutondebwa kw'ebitonde byonna enkomerero bibuuzo ab'enneyiba muliraanwa era ogenda kubuuzibwa muliraanwawo wamukola ki wamuyisa otya olina okwanukula.
While teachers have played a crucial role in shaping the candidates' academic journey, Mokuba Timothy, representing the teaching staff, emphasized that entrusting the candidates to God is another path to achieving success.
Where we have been giving our candidates to the Almighty, or dedicating them in a way that the Almighty helps them, because we have prepared them for the case of the classes, lessons, hard lessons, and we are grateful that they've studied that. They've got the best out of the class now. It was a day where the candidates were to be also presented to God so that God can also help them in their journey.
Geria Owen, a student, affirmed that everything necessary has been done and now it is up to the candidates to take charge.
Yes, our candidates have been well prepared by our teachers and we expect good results this year come 2024.
This ceremony underlines the universality of God with various denominations coming together to empower candidates with renewed perseverance. The event signifies the dedication of candidates in Nakaseke, with religious leaders encouraging them to place God at the forefront of their efforts. I'm Benon Mkwaya, UBC News.
A senior Catholic priest, Monsignor Lawrence Semusu, has appealed to candidates seeking exams to desist from cheating. Semusu was presiding over the dedication prayers for the senior 4 and 6 students of Uganda Matters High School, Lubaga. The event was marked by moments of praise and worship with both parents and students participating.
Priest Messenger Lawrence Semusu has reassured students that there is no need to panic about the forthcoming examinations and advised them to get sufficient rest. Semusu was presiding over the dedication prayers for the senior 4 and 6 students of Uganda Matters High School in Lubaga.
We have challenged these students that we want them to be big trees, strong trees like mahogany.
The headmaster of Uganda Matters High School, Brother Busoga Leonard, expressed his confidence in the students' preparedness and their ability to excel in the UNEB exams.
Your mentorship remains our guiding light. You have armed us to teeth and made us heroically confident to face UNEB with the due assurance of exploring the pinnacles of success.
Meanwhile, Sekanyo Christopher of Musaba Church in Mende Wakiso Dinare reassured Mwebaza High School students in Mende Wakiso district of improved results in the coming year. He suggested that they continue revising diligently after receiving the blessings. Kaliesubula Constant, the national resistance movement leader in Mende sub-county, highlighted how liberalization of education in the country has led to the establishment of numerous local schools, making education accessible to many students. The chairman LC3 Mende County, Ntume Peter, expressed his gratitude for the establishment of a secondary school in the area. He noted that this blessing has eliminated the need for students to travel long distances in search of quality education. Sepuya Crespo Ecovilla, representing Baka Parish in Mende sub-county, pledged to improve the school's learning environment by providing over 10 computers connected to internet. The school's director, Mukuru Azario, shared the institution's noble mission of providing education to underprivileged children in the area, offering an alternative to boys who previously resorted to working as boda riders after completing primary school.
I've prepared them. We know the teachers have given them enough and they have been dedicated students. We know they're going to make it. And we are praying for them. And after imparting whatever we can, our teachers have done the best in all subjects.
Now, inspectors of school nationwide have converged at Jinja for training on the school performance assessment model aimed at improving on the education service delivery and e-inspection of schools. The training is conducted by the Directorate of Educational Standards, the Quality Assurance arm of the Ministry of Education and Sports. Inspectors have thanked government and the Ministry of Education for the innovations which they say has helped a lot in waking up the education system.
government has been implementing reforms for local government financing under the Intergovernmental Fiscal Transfers Reform Program to improve the effectiveness and efficiency of service delivery by frontline providers. To this end, the Ministry of Education and Sports designed the school performance assessment model, which seeks to promote improvements in education service delivery against key service delivery standards that influence learning outcomes. The model was piloted in FY 2021/2022 in 100 primary schools selected from 10 local government schools across the country, which helped the ministry to identify areas for improvement and further training. In order to roll out the model to all local governments, the ministry has embarked on training all inspectors of schools in a phased manner, starting with central government inspectors and district, municipal, city inspectors of schools across the country.
Classroom observation provides the most important evidence about the attendance of teachers and learners, the quality of teaching and timetable adherence. So when you go to class, you can ably tell whether the teacher is teaching the correct lesson, because you will already have the timetable with you from the head teacher's office. You can also tell whether that timetable is following the NCDC guidelines.
The IT specialist at Directorate of Education Standards, Stalin Musimenta, the training is aimed at equipping the inspectors with knowledge and skills in assessment of school performance, practical sessions on how to use e-inspection and the teller system to improve learning outcomes.
These inspectors will use the tools on the tablets to inspect these schools, to observe and also make evidence-based assessment, and after that they will make reports, and these reports will be used for further to make decisions, informed decisions basing on the data collected and the reports that have been done.
The chairperson of all Uganda Inspector of Schools, Ms. Ayebazibwe Kellen, appeals to inspectors to carry out their work as required. Inspectors lauded Janet Museveni and the Ministry of Education at large for introducing innovations aimed to improve on service delivery.
Work hand in hand with their districts and also look into the performance or the teaching and learning process in their schools. They should look at the schemes, lesson plans, they should look at the school environment. They should also share the documents that we have received here with the head teachers in their districts.
Yeah, the Ministry of Education and Sports is bringing a lot of guidelines that we can use to enhance performance of schools. And one of them is school performance assessment, which will really take us to the real gist of the school and see exactly what is happening in the schools. Initially, we've been using the manual kind of assessment and it does not bring results. So we want to touch the teacher, to see the child, and also to see the management and also the head teacher.
This third term, we are going to do school performance assessment, bearing in mind that we have done inspection for the last 2 terms, so we are going to assess how the schools performed, whether the areas that we are assessing were being implemented and how best.
I would like to thank the Ministry of Education and Sports so much with the support and the idea from Mama Tella. That is Francis Atima, the director of Education Standard in Uganda. She's supporting the inspectors with a lot of work, with so many good things. The teller system inclusive, the e-inspection, and even our inspection grant has been increased.
This training is very, very timely. The way the model has been brought up is timely. That can help our schools improve on their performances. Because looking at the areas that the tool is targeting, we are likely to realize some improvements in our schools.
or shop with MTN Momo and get cashback every week. It's free of charge.
Wano nno tuli Bukoto era lero we tugenda okugaba pichipichi yaffe eri omuwanguzi waffe wano we tuzze.
I'm so excited and I'm sure even all the people, all the staff at Kwaliwath are all excited. We thank you very, very much.
Myaka 25 nga MTN eweereza naye nga buli week tugaba pichipichi 5.
Very, very excited. I'm excited about MTN giving back to its customers. I'm really grateful. Thank you so much, MTN.
The fact that we have won really shows that people like Mama. Their services are really nice. MTN, your services are okay. The network is good. We are satisfied.
Chikola sense ne?
Use the Momo app or dial *165 *3#.
There's also another program, which is the Uganda Women Entrepreneurship Program, WEP, where we have dispersed the funds to the women groups, and of which recovery for the WEP program is around 52%. And of recent, the district was given more funds. The president actually was the one who officiated it during Women's Day on the 8th of March in Chirihura district, where we got an additional 132 million shillings to be given to the youth groups for good performance. But previously we had over 600 million shillings on top of that, and so far so good. That group is very organized actually for the women.
So, you are ready to invest in Airtel's initial public offering? Good choice. I'm going to show you how to do it straight from your phone. First, you're going to want to make sure you have a Securities Central Depository SCD account. Dial *185*85# from your Airtel number. Choose Airtel IPO purchase from the available options. Enter your valid national identification number when prompted. Before you purchase, there are a few things you need to know. The minimum purchase is 2,500 shares. The share price is 100 Uganda shillings. Select the number of shares you wish to purchase. Choose your relevant broker for the purchase. Enter your Airtel Money PIN to confirm the transaction. Congratulations! You will receive a confirmation message of your successful purchase.
The Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, in partnership with Huawei, has organized the second annual National ICT Job Fair 2023, which will take place at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds on the 17th and 18th of October 2023. The main objective is to address the unemployment gap among the youth in Uganda by providing a platform for them to interact with multiple employers, access job opportunities, internships, apprenticeships, and training programs in the ICT sector. The chief guest will be His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. All members of the public are invited.
Hello, Mom. How did you sleep? How is Salongo? Oh, Mommy, how is Grandma? And Simba, the dog, yeah, the funny one.
Call Bona on any network in Uganda with Airtel Bona Voice Bundles. Dial *100*1#. Select Call Bona to choose bundles from as low as 1,000 shillings from daily, weekly, monthly, or bundles that don't expire. Call Bona on any network in Uganda with Airtel. A reason to imagine.
I'll request my producer to call that bumper once again.
Free of charge.
wano nno tuli bukoto era lero we tugenda okugaba pichipichi yaffe eri omuwanguzi waffe wano we tuzze.
I'm so excited and I'm sure even all the people, all the staff at Kwaliwath, they're all excited. We thank you very, very much.
Myaka 25 nga MTN eweereza naye nga buli week tugaba pichipichi 5.
Very, very excited. I'm excited about MTN giving back to its customers. I'm really grateful. Thank you so much, MTN.
The fact that we have won really shows that people like Mama. Their services are really nice. MTN, your services are okay. The network is good. We are satisfied.
Chikola sense ne?
Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Welcome back. We were supposed to be getting into the sports segment. Now, in sports, after 3 days of immaculate displays, some bordering on exceptional, the 73rd Uganda Ladies Open Championship has climaxed at the Par 72 Uganda Golf Club, Chitante. The second event of this year's Johnny Walker Open Golf Championship attracted 42 women, including foreigners, and has had a Ugandan emerge champion.
Toro Golf Club's Peace Kabasweka led from day one to the final day and has ultimately won her first ever Uganda Ladies Open title. It, however, wasn't easy for Kabasweka, who in the earlier rounds scored 68, 75 and 78 on the final day. At some stage in the second round, second-placed Idi Madina of Tanzania leveled the scores with Kabasweka needing nerves of steel in the final holes to win this Johnny Walker Open Golf Championship by a single shot after an impressive 221 gross points.
I was gambling, that's the truth. But I gained strength on number 16 and let me commit that since then I was good. You supported me, you showed me love, I was confident. Thank you so much. I love you.
And before I let you go, was there a point?
Eva Magara completed the podium in third with 228 gross points, which were bettered by Idi Madina by 6 strokes for the Tanzanian to take second spot. Kenyans Mercy Nyabenda and Ashley Owol were tied at 229 gross for 4th and 5th spot respectively, while outgoing champion Ugandan Martha Babidye finished 6th. The top 10 at this Johnny Walker Open Golf Championship was complete by Meron Chomugisha, Judith Komugisha, Harriet Kitaka, and Kenya's Margaret Njoki. What now follows next in this special edition of the Johnny Walker Open Golf Championship is the Amateurs Open mid next week. The Pro-Am will come next, and it will be followed by the Professionals category that takes 100 million from the 410 that headline sponsors Johnny Walker injected. John Barnes, Sentamo, UBC News.
And that brings us to the end of the 10 o'clock edition of the UBC News Tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in. And of course, I'm not expecting any of the senior 4 candidates to be watching, but we do pray for you. And the parents out there, please do support your children in whatever way you can to ensure that they go through this process successfully. From the team, we must say good night and have yourselves a lovely week.
Sunny intervals dominated most areas, though some areas had thunder showers. My name is Juliet Nanteza with the latest weather updates from Uganda National Meteorological Authority. When we take a look at the satellite imagery today, it shows that the rain belt is widely spread over our country. That's why central in the morning we expect to have thunder showers together with eastern and then western. North in Moroto and Kotido, we expect to have sunny intervals. The rest, we expect to have thunder showers. Later on in the afternoon, temperatures are expected to rise to 27 Nakasongola and Mubende, Kampala 25 and Masaka with thunder showers. Eastern, we expect temperatures to rise to 27 in most areas with thunder showers. Western, we expect temperatures to rise to 28 in Kasese, Masindi 27, Mbara 24 and Kabale Highlands at a maximum of 22 with thunder showers. In the north, we expect temperatures to rise to 28, that is for Kotido and Moroto. Kitugum, Gulu and Lira, we expect a maximum of 27, and Arua, we expect a maximum of 25 with thunder showers. Elsewhere, Dubai, we expect bright and sunny conditions at a maximum of 38. Nairobi, we expect sunny intervals at a maximum of 27. Paris is quite chilly at a maximum of 14. Hong Kong, cloudy conditions at a maximum of 29. And New York is also chilly at a maximum of 16. That's all we had for you from Uganda National Meteorological Authority. Have a blessed week ahead.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.